Hey Inguz Nation, Thursday's workout is Athlete's Foot. We've got 3 1-minute stations followed by a minute of rest completed for 5 rounds. We're working for max reps at each of those stations within the minute before moving on to the next. The 3 movements that we're working with today are box jumps, toes to dumbbell, and kettlebell swings. Our score today is the total reps completed across the 5 rounds. Some modifications for today. If we don't have a box that we can safely jump up onto, we can either perform a step up or we can do a squat jump. Now the toes to dumbbell is our at-home modification for toes to bar. So if you have a pull-up bar, feel free to throw some toes to bar into the mix today. For the kettlebell swing, if we don't have a kettlebell, we can do this with a dumbbell. Or if we don't have a dumbbell or a kettlebell, we're going to perform a plate ground to overhead. No modifications needed for that rest period. Today is all about consistency across those 5 rounds. So if in that first round we get 60 reps total, we want to try and stay as close to that 60 rep total as possible through the remaining 4 rounds. The toes to dumbbell and kettlebell swings are the most likely movements that we'll have to break up today. So consider a breakup strategy that's going to allow you to maximize the amount of time that you spend moving within that minute. So for example, maybe we do 10 seconds of work, 10 seconds of rest for 3 rounds within the minute. Or if we're a little bit more comfortable with those movements, maybe we do 20 seconds of work, 10 seconds of rest for 2 rounds. Again, either way, we want to try to maximize the amount of time that we're moving within that minute to maximize our total reps. For our warm-up today, we're going to complete 30 seconds of each of the following movements, starting with an active Samson. So we're stepping out into that lunge, pushing those hips forward, getting a good hip flexor stretch at the bottom of each one. From there, we're going to go to an alternating bird dog. So we're going hands and knees here, and we're going to extend opposite arm, opposite leg. Little squeeze at the top. Try to keep your shoulders and your hips nice and square to the floor. After that, we're going to do 30 seconds of jumping jacks. Just trying to get the heart rate up a little bit. From there, we're going to 30 seconds of step-ups. So using our box or our object, just stepping up, stepping down, warming up that movement for our box jumps today. After the step-ups, we're going to do 30 seconds of a front plank. So holding that plank position nice and stable for 30 seconds, keeping the hips down. And then lastly, we're going to finish with an inchworm to push-up. So from a standing position, we're going to walk our hands out into a push-up, do 1 push-up and then walk the hands back in. Try to keep the knees locked as much as possible as we go out into the push-up position and then back in, so we're getting a good stretch through our hamstrings. Our first station in the workout today is the box jump. So standard box jump here, we want to hinge those hips back, be explosive, try to land as high as we can on that box before coming down for that next rep. With a minute of work here, it probably makes sense to step down from the box versus trying to rebound. It's going to allow us to move more consistently through that minute. If you don't have something that you can jump up onto, we can always do a step up. So just alternating legs, stepping up, stepping down, still making sure that we're coming to a complete standing position at the top before the next rep. And if we don't have anything we can step up to, we're going to substitute with a squat jump. So full squat and then a little hop at the top of that squat. Try to be as continuous as possible with these, so as you come down from the jump, you're letting yourself lead into that next rep. The toes to dumbbell is going to be very similar to the toes to rig that we substitute toes to bar in the gym. We're using the dumbbell as an anchoring point to secure our hands as we go through that movement. But if you don't have a dumbbell, you can use a kettlebell, something else weighted, or even just your couch at your home. Just something that you can anchor your hands to stabilize through this movement. Kate's bringing her heels from the floor and then toes all the way up to that dumbbell. Nice and controlled through that movement. Kate's really flexible, so she's able to get her toes to the dumbbell, but if you're not quite there, we just want to bring them up as high as we can. Still lifting our lower back and glutes off the floor just slightly as we go through that rep. Our third station today is the kettlebell swing. So similar to our box jump, we want this to be a hip-driven movement. So we're being explosive, driving through those heels, snapping those hips closed to get the momentum swinging up on that kettlebell. We're going full standard kettlebell swing today, so we're going overhead, making sure that at the top, arms are locked out and the bottom of that kettlebell is pointed up to the sky. If you don't have a kettlebell, we can do this with a dumbbell. We're going to hold the dumbbell in the center by the handle. Ideally, if our weight is manageable, we want to go overhead today. But if your dumbbell's a little bit on the heavier side and you're not comfortable going overhead, we can go to a Russian swing just up to eye level. Same technique applies. We want to drive from those hips to get the weight on that dumbbell moving up. Our fourth station in the workout today is the rest period. A couple different techniques that we can apply here. We can do the lean. We can do the baseball player or the wounded animal. Whatever technique you decide to apply for this rest period, just make sure you're staying properly hydrated.